Welcome back everyone, and to episode 32. So it's been about 2 weeks since my last video, and as I mentioned before, the school holidays are playing havoc with me making videos and actually working on the car. But the school holidays are nearly over, so normality hopefully will be resumed soon. So in the last few videos you've seen me strip apart the front suspension. I have to keep reminding myself what I'm trying to do. I've got the goal to get the engine back in and running. You know, remember at the beginning the whole goal was just to get this car started and running. And it's led me down this long journey of rebuilding the engine, and now when I've gone to put the engine back in, I thought I might as well have that cross member out. Cross member led to the suspension, but I feel like we're starting to rebuild things again. We're starting to come back together. So the suspension is largely out. I think most parts are off and either reconditioned now or being reconditioned. I do feel like we're starting to come back on the up, so hopefully we can get that suspension back on in the next few weeks, and then we can start talking about getting the engine back in and that ultimate goal of getting the engine started, and then I can work out what to do with the rest of the car. There's still obviously all the transmission and stuff like that. So I'm not going to say what I'm going to try and do this week because there's so many jobs open, up and running, to be resolved. So I'm just going to go at some of them and we'll see where we go. Please remember to click the like button for each of the videos. That helps my videos become more visible on YouTube. And also the subscribe button helps me just grow the channel generally. So let's dive in and see where we get to. Right, just trying to get these anti-roll bar bushes off. They're quite surprisingly tight. I think over the years they've hardened up. What I'm doing is I'm just slicing through it and then just unwrapping it from the bar. But I would not say it's an easy job. There we go. Right. So some debate the exact size of this anti-roll bar. It measures 26mm, I believe. Let me get my calipers again. Right, so yeah, it measures 26 point. To me that says 20. I guess just under 27mm. It's clear enough for you guys to see on there. It's just under 27. So I think this is the 26mm anti-roll bar. So they're the ones I'll order, and I assume it can only be like that you just slide them on and waggle them along to the right point. Okay, not the most exciting thing, but exciting for me. It's a lot of parts from Design 911. Let's have a look. I can't remember what I ordered, to be honest. Okay, so let's have a look. Right. These lower control arm ball joints. 2 of those. Good. Powerflex. Okay, these are the Powerflex Heritage Collection anti-roll bar bushes. Nice and solid. I still need to tidy up that anti-roll bar, maybe even get it powder coated. Need to look at that. These are going to be okay. These are the tie rod ball joints for the ends of those. 2 of those. These are the bearing kits, I assume. Yep, that's the bearing kit for the hubs, both sides. 2 of those, and brake lines. Okay, so I can finally remove those brake lines if I can get them off. I'm going to start looking at the lower control arm now. I know that's got the sort of mounting to left on it, so it's kind of protecting the bushes at that end. This side have come off. Bushes actually look really clean, so I'm not going to touch those. I'm just going to quickly spin over the metal and just tidy them up, and then we can just see what we do with it. There's a bracket up this end that probably needs painting up, but let's give it a quick clean. So these are the lower cross members cleaned up, ready to go back on. I've reused all the parts, there's nothing replaced there. They all seem pretty good. I mean, they're not pristine, but they're clean enough, I think. Yeah, I think we'll just carry on. Just if there's any parts that need replacing on the line, we'll go for it. Probably the worst are these two cam things, what we're going to call those. They're slightly rusty, but I don't think they're horrendous. Right, I've put it off as long as I can, I think. It's time to get that steering rack out. I keep putting it off because it's a very mucky job to get under there again. So I've put on my dirty jeans and I'm going in. So it's obviously disconnected from both ends. You know, I've taken both ends of the steering off. I think it's just a matter of disconnecting it here, and it should just drop down, and then we can take it outside and give it a bit of a clean up and just inspect what's wrong with it. So let's just dive in and see how easy it is to get off. It looks like I've actually undone this nut already. It looks like that's the only thing holding it up. So I'm assuming it's a couple of taps there with a hammer or a piece of wood that I happen to have lying around, and it'll probably drop down. Let's just support it underneath. Maybe not. Okay, let's have a look. It really should come out. I assume that's like a splined shaft. I'll come above and just give it a tap with a hammer. Let's give it a little tap. I'll put a bit of wood underneath just to catch it. Not really. I'll give you a slightly better angle there. You'll get all the best views. So this is fully undone, this nut and bolt here. So I'm expecting it. Let's just give it a little tap. I'm expecting that shaft just to drop off. But that seems pretty tight. We're probably up against 31 years of corrosion and stuff. Let me think. I can probably undo it up higher, but I would like it to come out there really, or even lower down perhaps as it goes into the rack. I could undo that one there, I suppose. I guess it's the same. I kind of have my heart set on this one undoing. I think I'm going to heat it up. I think if in doubt, heat it up. Okay, typically again the video camera stopped filming because it reached the 10 minutes maximum just as it dropped off. So you can see this end bit now. It's got a little, just see if I'm showing it correctly. How do I get this thing to focus for you as well? Right, so you can see the end. There's actually got a little sort of cutout here, and that's what was holding it on, I believe. I think the bolt going through was effectively in that recess, so it stops it dropping out. As soon as the bolt was out, it just tapped off quite happily. So hopefully it's not damaged that too much. A few hammer marks on the top. But at least we can take the steering rack out of here now and clean it up. Okay, so this is the steering rack out on the old piece of carpet in the garden. I'll just give you a pan along it so you can look at it. The you know, the bellows, these things, both ends are perforated, so there's holes in them. I've not checked this on the other one, but there is. There's lots of fluid here because a while back I undid this nut, which when I sort of turn the steering rack it pumps out fluid, so that's dribbled down into this sort of area. I'm not sure what I'm looking for. I think what I'll do, I'll sort of clean it up with the pressure jet wash and we can have a look, just sort of see if it's leaking. Maybe I've got new bellows, I've ordered those anyway, so I could cut those off so we can look inside. That might help. I'm just trying to assess whether it needs rebuilding or not. it going. Okay. I popped it on my little workbench here. It's quite clean after that. Tied up with my little boy. Not too bad. Obviously, if I rotate the steering rack here, it pumps fluid out, so I'm just collecting it in a bucket at the bottom there. Obviously I didn't know that at the start, so it's all over the floor. So I've just stripped off, I don't know how to strip this off, so I've just cut, this one's perforated anyway, I've just cut it with a blade so we can have a look. If we just pull that away, chuck it on the floor, we can see the ball joint underneath. I'm trying to work out how to put the new one on if I was to go that route. I figured it might be useful to see. This obviously has got a thinning there that you can put a spanner on. I'm assuming it comes undone here somewhere, probably screws together somewhere just here. I need to investigate a little bit. But you can start to see what it looks like. It's just a straight sort of ball joint in there. Right. I'm trying to keep the bag over the ends of the pipes because it still dribbles out a bit of fluid. Right, so let me check you can see it nicely. Fairly. Let's start at this end here then and see if there's anything we can look at. Okay. So obviously turning the rack, it goes in and out. In terms of where, hopefully you can see the actual shaft itself seems very clean. I can see the teeth on it. It doesn't move laterally, like I'm pushing it in and out. It doesn't wobble either. I can turn it fractionally. Hopefully you can see that. I might zoom you in a little bit closer so you can see. Right, hopefully you can see now. So that's me trying to twist it. There is no twist at all. Me pushing and pulling in that axis, nothing. I'm just wobbling it up and down now. Minor, absolute minor. That's it fully extended out. If I just come back a little bit. Same test. That's me rotating it. It turns a fraction. But then that's turning the steering rack, the whole thing. There's no play at all if I lock the steering rack tight. Maybe a millimetre, nothing. I go down the other end then, so the same test. Pulling on it, well I can pull the whole steering rack. You know, it rotates the steering. But in terms of play forwards and backwards, nothing. Rotational, nothing. And wobbling it around, you can see how much play there is there. A little tiny bit. I might just pull it towards me a little bit more. That's it. Let's try again. Yeah, there isn't a lot there. This ball joint, very smooth, no play whatsoever. I'll just test the other end as well. Nothing. So there's no play in the ball joints at all. Just looking up this end, obviously this plastic, there's like a plastic housing goes around there. Dust cover maybe. That looks like it's come off, snapped a little bit. I'll slowly pan across, you can just sort of see what state things are in. As it needs new mounts. This is the, if I can point, that one's the one that's undone, so it's leaking because of that reason. I don't know what else to look for. I mean, other than that, it seems very dry. It doesn't seem to be any play in anything. The ball joint there is fine. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do with it. I don't mind getting it rebuilt, that's okay. I'd just like to know whether I should. I think that's all I'm going to get time for this week. You notice the engine, just to point out the obvious thing here, is now covered with a blanket. I felt bad that it's just sitting there getting dusty. I had naively figured I'd get it done and then just slap it back in the car, but that's not going to work out like that. So now that it's covered up, before I do put the engine, I'm going to go over it one more time, just give it a really good clean up so it's sort of sparkling. And I need to work out whether I'm going to sort of treat any of this aluminium, spray it with lacquer, or just leave it. I need to work that out. Anyway, so not a bad week again. Steering rack off, sitting on the bench there. I'm waiting for your comments as to what I should do with that. Do I need to send it away? Does it need a rebuild? Has it had a rebuild recently? Maybe, I don't know. After my boy Pressure Jet washed it, it came up pretty clean, and I suspect it's probably had a rebuild not that long ago. It all feels very tight. But I'm looking for your comments on that, so please let me know. More of the suspension parts off, more of the suspension parts cleaned up, so we do feel like, I do feel like I'm starting to get those back together. The one thing I haven't resolved yet is what to do with these springs. They measure the correct length, so that's good. I'm not going to be able to clean those up, so I think I'm going to go and get those either bead or sandblasted professionally and then powder coated. I think that's the right thing to do with those. While it's there, I'll probably maybe get the anti-roll bar done at the same time, the engine cross member as well. I think they all look quite good powder coated, but I don't know whether the thickness of the powder coating will make those bushes not fit on the anti-roll bar, so please let me know if you think that will or won't. But yeah, that's it for this week. So as ever, thank you for watching. Hopefully next video will be a little bit sooner because the kids will be back at school, but we'll just keep pushing on.